there's a brand new Hunger Games film coming out. And I got to say, kind of like the Planet of the Apes thing, it was one of those films that I had very little interest in. And then I saw the presentation for it and I was like, this looks scarily good. And the trailers have been remarkable, oddly enough. Like, I'm shocked, and I'm actually really excited to see it now. Now, of course, Hunger Games was a massive box office smash for the studios for what it was, and it was the biggest thing that Jennifer Lawrence has ever done. Well, now apparently Jennifer Lawrence is saying she'd be more than willing to come back and play it again, though the producers are saying, they don't know if they'd want her. Anyway, this comes to us from the folks at Variety who said the following. Jennifer Lawrence told Variety in June during her No Hard Feelings press tour that she is totally open to reprising her Hunger Games role of Katniss Everdeen should the right opportunity arise. She added at the time, if Katniss could ever come back into my life, 100%. But franchise producer Nina Jacobson and director Francis Lawrence aren't counting on it. Why? Because Katniss' story feels complete, and it would hinge on Hunger Games author Suzanne Collins wanting to revisit Katniss herself. And again, that comes to us from Variety. Now, I'm kind of two minds on this. First of all, I'm not the biggest Hunger Games fan. Like, I loved the second film. Like, I liked the first one, loved the second one, kind of went downhill after that for me, so whatever. I really am excited about seeing the new Snakes and Ladders movie, whatever it's called, the new Hunger Games. Because the trailers look, I've never remember what the title of it is.
I think it's the Songs of Snakes on a Plane.
Songs of Snakes on a Plane. That's the better title. So, but I would say this. While I respect very much, actually, the idea of the producer and the director saying, hey, we think her story's done. And if we think her story's done, we're ready to move on from it. Okay, I respect that. However, I'm not big on prequels. Don't get me wrong, there are clearly prequels that have been made that I've enjoyed. But philosophically speaking, I don't like going backwards unless you go so far backwards that it doesn't really connect all that well. But guess what? One of the main characters in this new Hunger Games film is his name's not Cornelius, but it's
President Snow.
Cornelius Snow,
Yeah.
whatever the hell his name is. Snow, guess what? I know what happens to him.
Yep.
I know where he ends up. Now, you could arguably say, John, when you watched Titanic, you knew how the Titanic ended up, right? True enough. Actually, that's a really good argument. That's a very good point. But for me, with character arcs, it's like, I don't have to wonder what's going to happen with Snow. I know where it's going. I know what the fate of this girl is. I know what the fate of Panem is. I know where Panem as a world is going to be after this. I'm sure they can still tell a great story. And like I said, the marketing has made me look forward to it. If you want to do more Hunger Games, though, the central figure of Hunger Games is Katniss Everdeen. She's it. I mean, the story of Hunger Games kind of is the story of Katniss Everdeen. And I think there would be value in saying, okay, the events that happen in the final Hunger Games are world-changing. So what happens next? I think there are stories there to tell. I'm not saying they should do more Hunger Games films. I'm just saying if you want to do more Hunger Games films, I think you got to do one of two things. Pick up the story of Katniss Everdeen or jump forward another 100 years where Katniss is long gone. Pifey, the Piff Drake. What's the kid's name? What's Josh Hutcherson's character's name? Piffy Pot Smoke? PETA. That's it. That's right. Some kind of sandwich. Some kind of sandwich kid. Like PETA is long gone. Yeah. Their children are probably now long gone. Like maybe jump forward like 100 years. Kind of the same philosophy I have with Star Wars, right? Like, okay, move on to the next chapter of the next thing, or jump ahead another 150 years. Like, give us a new setting and context. I don't think the future of Hunger Games should be continuously going backwards. And if you do want to go forward, I think going forward with Katniss Everdeen is a perfectly good idea. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Marine Lair. It's official, guys. I have found the softest t-shirt of all time, so soft, it's ridiculous. All thanks to the San Francisco-based Marine Lair. Marine Lair is the go-to brand for great fitting and stylish closet staples. Their clothes are that perfect mix of laid-back style and also looks and feels premium. It's time to invest in a wardrobe that will actually last. For a limited time, the John Campea Show viewers viewers and listeners get an exclusive 15% off with the code Campea15 at marinelair.com. Now, guys, you know I am not the most fashionable guy in the world, but I appreciate a good-looking shirt, but more importantly, I appreciate a comfortable shirt. And the shirts that I've got from Marine Lair fit both of those beautifully. And they've even got sizes like Marge, which is in between medium and large, so everyone can get their perfect fit. The best part, if you buy any 3 tees from Marine Lair, you automatically get 20% off. And Marine Lair goes way beyond just t-shirts too. They've got super laid back overshirts, pants, jackets, and all the cozy layers you want for the cooler seasons. I think we can all admit that the perfect tee can be hard to find. Look no further than Marine Lair. For a limited time, get 15% off with the code Campea15 at marinelair.com. That's Campea15 for 15% off your entire order at marinelair.com. Saving your closet one shirt at a time. Anyway, Chris, you hear about this. Jennifer Lawrence totally open to coming back, but the current producer and director saying, we don't know if we think the story's been told. What do you think the future of Hunger Games should be here?
I really like what the team here was saying, too, that Suzanne Collins really works thematically.
The writer of the books.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that there were very specific themes she wanted to touch on with both participants in the Hunger Games. And those were different themes, different stories. And that Katniss is pretty much done, and they told what they needed to about that specific thing. Now, if you give me that older Katniss, right? And I mean, like, she is now Rose telling the story of the Titanic old. I could watch that and have her being part of whatever's happening with the Hunger Games if they are still continuing, if things have changed, yada, yada, yada. Seeing that kind of political shift and aftermath from what she'd done, that could be interesting. But I don't know if I need to see 5 years later with Katniss and Peeta. I don't think that's a story that I personally need to see. And I always love when an actor says they're open to it if the story makes sense, because at the end of the day, we're all jobbers. We want to get another job.
We're all jobbers.
You know? Yeah, if it's a good story, heck yeah, sign me up. And she did a wonderful job in that film franchise. Obviously, it really launched her career, even though she had tremendous work under her already. I mean, Winter's Bone.
Well, she had an Academy Award nomination already by that point.
But this is what made her a household name.
A superstar.
Yeah. So I can understand why she would want to come back, but I love that everyone is saying we're only going to tell a story if it makes sense to tell a story and not doing a money grab. So if they have something else to tell way in the future, things like that, see that kind of political aftermath, I think that's where the story could be found.
By the way, I don't care what anybody says. A little bit of a Nikki premise, sure, but no hard feelings. It was pretty damn funny. It was, and she was really good in it.
I didn't like it.
You didn't?
I
thought
just-
you, honestly, I'm surprised, not because I think it's so good that everybody, no. I honestly, I saw it and I thought you would really like that movie.
It's totally my kind of movie.
Yeah.
Was it Tremors with bad dates?
it was Tremors with bad dates.
Oh.
No, it was just, there were things around, oh yeah, it was in the trailer. Oh damn, she fully naked, okay. This is fine. One of the things that really bothered me was the timeline of just, this takes place over like a few days.
No. I remember thinking a little oddly about that too.
And then also everyone being like, ma'am, old woman, etc., to a 32-year-old Jennifer Lawrence, where I was like, none of these jabronis would kick her out of bed, okay? None of them. Not a single one would be like, this old hag. She looks so young and is so beautiful. That was another thing that I was like, I don't know about all these teenage boys thinking she's aged.
I did find those jokes funny, though.
They were funny, and she reacted really well to them. But that took me out of it. But mostly it was that timeline of just, I don't really buy this story and relationship so far.
But the funny thing too is when I look at the filmography of her, and if you were to tell me Jennifer Lawrence at one point will do like full frontal nudity, I never would have guessed that's the one she would do. Yeah. Full frontal. I thought it'd be something heavy and dramatic.
You do it for an Oscar,
like
right? You clinch an Oscar by going fully naked.
All right. We're not here to talk about no hard feelings. That was me bringing that up. Sorry about that, guy. Hey, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.